Part 8. The system expanded, weaving its way into every corner of the house, but convenience wasn't the endgame. The real art lay in customizing every detail to match each moment. Once automation was established, Alex began crafting modes for different situations. Work mode. Bright, neutral light, thermostat set cool, all notifications silenced. Relax mode. Warm, dim lighting, soft music, gentle heat. Movie mode. Living room lights off except a faint glow behind the couch, TV volume optimized. These modes were activated with a phrase or automatically based on the time of day. Location-based triggers meant that as Alex approached home, relax mode would kick in, lights glowing warmly and music playing softly. There was also vacation mode, where random lights switched on and off to simulate someone being home, adding an extra layer of security. The home no longer just reacted, it anticipated moods, needs, and even habits. But with so much data flowing through these devices, a new thought began to surface. Who else might be watching? Now let's continue the story with Part 9. Part 9. The walls had ears. It started as a joke, a throwaway comment from Charlie, Alex's tech-savvy friend. But it stuck, taking on a life of its own. Alex couldn't stop thinking about it. It was their home, their sanctuary, privy to their most intimate moments, their private conversations. The idea was unsettling, like a persistent draft in the back of your neck. He checked the obvious, the smart speaker in the kitchen, the voice commands. All of them were linked to his phone. It didn't store history, not even a breadcrumb trail. But what about the Nest thermostat, the cameras? Did they too have a memory? The thought prickled at him. Could someone be watching, listening? Was Big Brother just around the corner? The digital age had made privacy a luxury. Every click, every search, every voice command was a data point, a marker in the vast map of their lives. And here they were, willingly offering up their home, their most private space, to this invisible cartographer. It was convenient, yes, but was it worth the cost? He looked at the array of devices, the smart plugs, the cameras, the thermostat, each one a silent observer, a potential spy. It was time for answers. The paranoia was starting to feel like a prison, suffocating him in its own four walls. He needed to know the truth. Was he being watched? Was his home, his sanctuary, now a panopticon? Or was it all just a paranoid fantasy of the digital age? His fingers hovered over the phone, poised to delve into the labyrinth of privacy settings, ready to face whatever truth awaited him. Meanwhile, across town, nestled in a high-rise building with floor-to-ceiling windows, sat a figure bathed in the glow of multiple screens. Each screen displaying a live feed of various smart devices, cameras, thermostats, all silently relaying their data. A faint smile played on the man's lips as he watched. He was the puppet master, orchestrating an unseen world, pulling strings that dictated how the city lived, worked, and even relaxed. In his eyes, the data wasn't just numbers and codes. It was a story of a city's heartbeat. He saw trends emerge, patterns of daily life, and he found it fascinating. But his interest wasn't purely academic. No, he saw value in this data, potential for profit. If he could decipher the rhythm of the city, he could predict its next move, anticipate its needs. The idea was both thrilling and terrifying, like holding the pulse of the city in your fingertips. It was power, pure and unadulterated. But as he delved deeper into the city's data stream, he realized there was another story here. One hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. He just needed to find the right angle. Back in the cozy confines of Alex's home, he was diving into the heart of the matter, the privacy settings. As a software engineer, he knew where to look, what to examine. First stop, the cameras. Their lenses were trained on the outside, capturing the street, the garden. But did they record? The answer was yes, but only when motion was detected. He could review the footage. He did, finding nothing out of the ordinary. It was reassuring, but it left him with more questions. What if it wasn't about what they recorded, but how long they kept the records? He dove into the settings, scrolling through the technical jargon until he found it. The retention policy. It was set to 60 days, 2 months of recorded footage stored securely. It was standard, not unusual. But still, the knowledge unsettled him. 2 months of his life captured, stored, and potentially accessible. Then there was the Nest thermostat. It wasn't just a temperature regulator. It was a silent observer of his daily rhythms, his comings and goings. He checked its logs, but the data there wasn't chronological. It was a jumble of temperatures, humidity levels, and energy usage, devoid of any personal narrative. Relieved, yet still uneasy, Alex moved on to the final frontier, the smart speaker. It hung in the kitchen, seemingly innocuous, but it was the most connected device in the house. It heard his conversations, his commands, his whispered thoughts. Had any of that been recorded? He asked the device to show him its logs. On the screen, lines of code scrolled by, a jumble of letters and numbers. To the untrained eye, it meant nothing, but Alex saw patterns in the chaos. He recognized voice commands, even snippets of his conversations. It was unsettling to see it back, to realize that somewhere in a server farm, his casual chatter was stored. It was a stark reminder of the digital age. Privacy was no longer a given. It was a privilege that needed constant negotiation. And as he stood there sifting through lines of code, he realized he had a choice: either confront the unease and find ways to mitigate it, or retreat from the technological embrace, give up the convenience for the comfort of obscurity. The decision wasn't easy, but as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across his smart home, he knew he couldn't unplug. Not now, not when the future was wired and the city was watching. Meanwhile, the man in the high-rise was just getting started. The data from the smart devices was a goldmine, but it was raw, unrefined. He needed a way to organize it, to give it structure. That's when he hit upon the idea: create a map, not of the city's streets, but of its digital arteries, the flow of data, the patterns of use, the peaks and troughs of activity. It would be a map of the city's heartbeat. But as he delved deeper into the project, he realized it was more than just a data visualization tool. It was a way to understand the city's soul, its desires, its needs. He saw where families gathered, where businesses thrived, where individuals sought solace. The map became a story, a tapestry woven with data threads. It was a powerful tool, one that could be used for good or for ill. He saw the potential, the chance to help the city function better, to make it more efficient, more sustainable. But he also saw the risks, the ease with which this knowledge could be manipulated, the fine line between helping and controlling. He was holding a mirror to the city, reflecting its life back at it, but also shaping that reflection, defining what the city saw. The question was, what would he do with this power? Would he use it to illuminate or to manipulate? As he stood there staring at his data map, the fate of the city's privacy hung in the balance. The story thus far has explored themes of technology, convenience, and privacy. We've seen how our protagonist Alex finds comfort in the convenience of a smart home, but then becomes troubled by the thought of his home listening to him. At the same time, we've also seen the motivations of the antagonist, who is looking to profit by gathering data from smart devices. The tension between convenience and privacy, between individual rights and corporate gain, is a relevant theme in our current society where technology is rapidly advancing. As we move forward in the story, we can expect the conflict between Alex and the antagonist to intensify. Alex is likely to take measures to protect his home and privacy, while the antagonist will probably try to find new ways to gather data. This conflict will highlight the importance of data protection and privacy in an increasingly technological world. Additionally, we can expect to see how the city reacts to the revelations about data collection. Will people become more aware and proactive about protecting their privacy, or will they continue to be complacent? How will the government respond to these revelations? The outcome of these reactions will have a significant impact on the story's resolution. Furthermore, the story so far has raised ethical questions about the use of artificial intelligence in data collection. As AI becomes more prevalent in our lives, questions about its impact on our privacy and autonomy become increasingly important. The story serves as a reminder of the need to be cautious about the unintended consequences of technological advancements. Finally, the story's setting in a futuristic city adds another layer of complexity. The prevalence of technology and the anonymity of city life plays a significant role in shaping the characters' actions and motivations. As the story progresses, we can expect the setting to continue to influence the development of the plot and the characters. Overall, the story is a gripping exploration of the challenges and complexities of living in a highly technological world. The blend of science fiction, mystery, and social commentary makes for a compelling narrative that will keep readers on the edge of their seats.